Hello and welcome to the week 10 edition of the Spread of the Week. Just had to check which week it was there, Mike, as we're rattling through the NFL season, as usual. Coming to you from Cleveland, Ohio, and London, South London there. How's it going, Mike? Looks a bit sunny.
Good. Good. No, it's not, unfortunately. It's a
Oh, dear.
little bit grey and overcast, a bit chilly this autumn in London. So that's very much continuing today. I'm out here on the sort of the enclosed balcony. It's a little bit. I need to get a heater for in here, but it's going to get much chillier.
Oh, dear. Yes, a little chilly on the spreads for us in the last few
What
weeks there.
what a segue! What a
Yeah,
segue that
I
was.
know we've fairly been frozen out of some of these games. So on the year, you're at 49.4%, just under 50 there, and
Well,
I'm way down at 43% now. Some bad sort of ties for us there that we gave to the bookies, but that's just the way we're going to do it. So yeah, would be good to get over 50, but yeah, it's been a bit of a slog.
yeah, a little bit, little bit. It's you have that initial run at the start of the season where it shakes out and you can kind of see some teams start to ascend and you get a feel for teams, and then all of the injuries bite. People lose form, and it kind of becomes a little bit more difficult to predict around this point in the season.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm hoping we can get it turned around a little bit now and get back over 50%.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some intriguing ones we've highlighted this week, which we'll get onto. I think we feel strongly about a few ones that smell a bit to us, but I think we've got to start in Germany, where the game will kick off, and that one was a Thursday night one, which was a 3-point spread, so no one won anything on that one, no matter who you took. But that's just
No,
the way the league crumbles.
no. And actually, the game in Germany has kicked off, so we better pick that spread quickly before anything too significant happens on it.
Yeah,
But yeah, the Bears 3 point tie goes to the bookmaker. We had two of those last week, and opening up the week with another tie that goes to the
yeah.
bookmaker. So that's really unfortunate. That isn't helping our quest to be over 50% either. With all these ties, may change the format a little bit next season and maybe take the ties out. I don't know. We need to have a chat about that and decide what we're going to do. But
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunate, terrible game. I think there were like some like 20 over 20 punts in this game. So I think it was. I don't think it was one for the neutral. Let's put it that way.
No, no.
Right. So Minshew Mania heads to
Oof.
Germany as the Colts take on the Patriots. Um,
Yes, it
what
was a 2 point ball game, 2 point spread,
to,
um,
to who? Sorry, to
in
Patriots.
favor of the Colts actually,
Yeah.
which yeah. I mean, do you want to have a stab at it first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm happy to go first because I actually feel okay about this.
Yeah,
I at the moment, I think you have to pick the Colts here for me personally, purely because they are in better form. Given the injuries that the Patriots have sustained on offense and defense, I just think they're actually surprisingly. You wouldn't have said this at the start of the season, but I think they're a more talented team than the Patriots right now, even with Anthony Richardson being out. So yeah, I'm going to take the Colts, but I could understand taking the Patriots. It's a tough one to call.
it is tough. I don't know if the Colts are a 5-5 team without their star QB. So I'm going to differ and take the Patriots there, the plus 2 points. I mean, I'd probably look at the under on this game anyway, as we often do in these international fixtures. But I just think it's going to be a stodgy game, and the Patriots may pull out a field goal win here at the end. Just maybe a bit more suited with the coaching staff to doing these international games. It's the only reason why, really.
No, sounds good. And it looks
Yeah.
like first quarter here, it looks like they're really running the ball with Ezekiel Elliott, the Patriots, getting down inside the red zone. So yeah, off to a good start for you there, the Patriots.
Nice.
Um, okay, so Texans at Bengals. This is a sneaky good one.
Oh,
Uh,
this is fun. Yeah, I like
this
this.
is this is a 6 point line. It looks like. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Well, you're on it, Tom.
yeah, it's a funny one because we always say this about the Bengals. They never win by more than a score. But that is sitting nicely there at -6. So you have the touchdown to play with. They're playing well, but oh, do I? I think that the Texans have been in every game they've played in. I'm going to just take the Texans here to cover. I think the Bengals win, but the Texans cover. They get on the road, and just show they can live with the Texans. I think the defense has been playing but maybe not as well as the Texans want. So I think they've made some adjustments, and D'Amico Ryans will be annoyed giving up 37 to the Bucks last week. So I expect a more sturdier performance from the Texans defense here. Actually, I think they're a team that we have to take slightly seriously after their good performances so far. And I think Stroud duels all the way with Burrow here, and it's just a late Bengals win here. Bengals are on very good form, but I think it's a Texans cover.
Yeah, I'm going to differ on this one. I've ridden the Bengals the last couple of weeks to a result. The Joe Burrow is back. He looks really like against the Bills. He was in complete control. He's got that look back in his eye that's like a little bit. He gets a little bit Brady like when he gets in that kind of zone. He looks very good. So I'm just going to say at this point, this young Texans team might get beaten by 7 to 10 points by a good Bengals team at home. They're rounding into the form of the season. So, I'm just going to take the Bengals. But yeah, I've been really impressed with the Texans. D'Amico Ryans having an outstanding effect there his first year back in Houston. And CJ Stroud, look at the box score there. Look, 4,500 yards and 28 touchdowns he's on course for this season, which is pretty remarkable as a rookie. That would shore him up for the offensive rookie of the year, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing some wonders for your fantasy team there as well, Mike. Sticking him
in. Yeah. I like it. I never draft a quarterback high. I normally have to scrabble around on the waiver wire and find one mid-season.
Sticking with your guns there.
Yeah, you got to.
We keep it in the AFC North.
Correct. Yeah. So this is
the winningest division in football. Goodness.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson is back. Which, look, for all of we poke fun at him a lot, and he is not the player he was before all of his off the field issues surfaced, but he is a big upgrade on PJ Walker. Unfortunately, I'd like to have seen PJ Walker do well being an ex-Temple Owl, but he just doesn't look like an NFL quarterback. So they at least are going to be in this game. The Ravens, though, Lamar Jackson is making a case for the MVP this year. He's been incredibly efficient in this new Todd Monken offense. I don't think, though, that this will be a touchdown win for the Ravens. I think this might turn into a bit of a slugfest. The Browns defense keeping them in it. Myles Garrett causing some issues in the backfield. So I'm going to take the Browns here to cover on the road.
Yeah. Well, that first game was an absolute rout there, a Stanford rout, Mike. A 28-point win for the Ravens, or 25, I think it was in the end. That just can't happen again in a divisional game. That was the anomaly on the radar, the blip, and this is just going to be much tighter. It's just not going to happen. So I have to agree with your points there. I think the Browns defense keeps them in it. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Cleveland Browns win here, and they split the series. I think the Browns are going to be really up for this after getting drudged by the Ravens last time. So, yeah, we'll agree on that. A double Browns for us.
Double Browns. Now, this is one that will have some raised eyebrows, I would say, around the betting community.
Yeah, for us, certainly.
San Francisco coming in as a road favourites on the back of 3 consecutive defeats does seem odd to me. If they were playing the Cardinals or something, I would understand. But this is a good Jags team.
No, yeah, you have to take the home dog here. There's no question about it. They've won 5 in a row now. I think the Jags, arguably the form team of the NFL, along with the Bengals at the moment. And yeah, I just think that this Jags team, as I've said before, is pretty complete now, offensively, defensively, special teams. They're just very tough to beat. And even if the Niners do win, I don't see it being more than 1 or 2 points. But I mean, at the moment, I can't see how the Niners get out of this slump against the Jags team, who's going to play him close, play him physical, and force some turnovers. I think expect to see a couple of turnovers on defense and maybe even special teams here. Get the Jags the win here in Duval.
Yeah, and I agree with all of that. I'm going to take the Jags here as well. You've got to take a 6-2 home dog. I would say one thing that would be concerning if I was a 49ers fan is the book is kind of out on the Niners now, which is if you can get on top of them early and get a lead, they can't really at the moment. They haven't shown yet this season that they're equipped to play from behind. Purdy's great when the defense is playing well, and he can just distribute the ball. He doesn't have to force it. When they make him drop back and pass with no play action, it does look a struggle for him. And the Jags, with their offensive firepower, can put up 25 plus points on this defense, which means Purdy may have to pay from behind. So, yeah, given all of that, I'm going to take the Jags too.
Yeah, very sound there. Very sound.
Okay, God, man alive. I mean, this is with the Eagles being on a bye this week. I will be watching Red Zone throughout, which is fortunate because I don't have to pay any attention to this game at all.
No.
This is this is not what I'm excited about, as you can tell. Oh goodness me, oh my.
I mean, this is a spread that hasn't changed all week from what I've seen as well. So I doubt much money's been coming on it. All that line's just sat there at 3 points the whole time.
I think I think one of these teams wins it by 3 points.
Yeah.
I think this will be a tie. I think we'll lose this one either way. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there's any way of picking this correctly. I feel like one of these teams is going to win on a field goal.
Yeah. Well, you have the honors. So.
I know. Pickett didn't look good last week. He didn't look good. There's this Matt Canada offense is pretty terrible, and
they can't run the ball, so that's a problem.
No, but the Packers, as always, are very accommodating on defense. They will let you run it on them, and I think Jordan Love is going to make some bad errors against this good. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense is back this season. They look they've got some good infusion of young talent on the back end, and obviously TJ Watt is TJ Watt. So I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers here. They're at home. I'd say they've got the better quarterback, and they've got the better defense. So that takes me to the Steelers.
Yeah, it is tough. It's going to be such a turnover play game, I feel. I'll be looking at the under there for sure on the money line. I feel like I want to agree with you, but I might just take the Packers just to throw a cat among the pigeons there, so to speak.
The proverbial cat amongst the pigeons. Lovely.
Yeah. It's tough. It's just a 3 points. I don't know if I feel comfy taking the Steelers at -3, so I'll take the Packers to cover in like a 2-point ball game or something. Go on.
Yeah, obviously, if I was being forced to put money on this, I'd be taking the reduced spread of maybe Pittsburgh at -1, just to just to make it an absolute certainty. You wouldn't make much money back, but -3 is very tenuous. I don't think either of us are comfortable with that. Right. So Titans at Buccaneers. Titans are quite fun to watch.
Yeah, a rejuvenated Titans.
Yeah. Go on, you first.
Ooh, it is tough. This is a tough one. I think Bowles just cooked something up here for the Titans to confuse Levis in an away fixture here at the Bucs, and the Bucs get the win. I think the Bucs are annoyed to have lost that game last week to the Texans. They are maybe a better team than I gave them credit for, so I see the Bucs getting a win here just because that's how the NFL works. And the Titans, I've been very impressed with them, but I can see this defense stifling them a bit today. They're usually stout against the run, the Bucs, which will be a problem. And then I would just feel like Levis maybe makes a few boneheaded plays. Maybe we haven't seen that yet from him, so I feel like today might be the day. Although I don't feel too comfy, but I'll just take the Bucks here.
Yeah, I'm happy to as well. It's 2.5, which is lovely. The
It is
line, so
nice.
the
Yeah.
field goal win gets it done for Tampa Bay. I'm going to go with you on that. I think your point about Todd Bowles being able to confuse Levis is a good one. I think they'll throw some quite exotic looks at him, try and unsettle him.
Hmm.
And they've got good players on the back end, the Buccaneers. So these long throws that Levis has been making off play action, balls up in the air to Julio Jones. I don't think that's going to be a very consistent tactic against the Buccaneers. I think he's going to have to sit in the pocket, throw between the numbers in the intermediate part
Yeah.
of the field over those good linebackers that Buccaneers have, and that might be a recipe for a young quarterback to maybe throw a couple of interceptions and go down in a tight game here.
Yeah, I think so. I know you always have a problem betting against Vrabel, though. He always comes back to haunt you when you pick against the Titans. We'll
Always.
see.
So I've
Yeah.
doomed us both by picking the Buccaneers here. Absolutely. Because I count them out every season, and then Vrabel gets them in, and they'll get to 8-9, or 9-8, which is basically all you can do with that roster because it's not very well assembled. What happens when you trade your best player away over a contract dispute? But the Eagles are definitely happy to have AJ Brown. So Saints at
Ooh, wow. This is a sneaky contender, this one. I like this.
Yeah.
I like this game.
This is number one. This is a fun game. I think this is
Yeah.
going to be a fun game. I think there's going to be some real calamity in this game because
Yeah.
the Saints have always got a crazy offensive meltdown potential, and the Vikings, just Josh Dobbs has not had enough time in that offense for it to be seamless. So I think there could be some ugly turnovers in this game. I'm going to take the home dog here. I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings. I know you've ridden the Saints defense this year, and it's come up trumps for you, and I can. That's a legitimate argument in this game too. But I watched that. I watched Josh Dobbs. I watched the All 22. There was an extended QB school on Josh Dobbs this week, and it was a fantastic performance. Introducing himself to people in the huddle for the first time on that, and he produced a wonderful performance. So I think I'm going to take the Vikings here, and I'm rooting for Josh Dobbs because I think he's played excellently this season for the Vikings and the Cardinals. So I'm enjoying him this year.
Yeah, no, he's good. That was one of my more enjoyable moments of the season. I think seeing that win for sure last week. I will agree with you on this one. I've ridden both these teams. I feel this year they scuppered me a few times, but more often than not they've covered the spread. I haven't got the numbers on me actually, but the Vikings certainly on quite a purple patch here, and I think
no pun intended.
No. Yeah, I think this is close. The spread for me has come down to 2.5 actually. So
even better.
Yeah, I feel like
even better if you were going to pick the Saints. I mean,
yeah, it is. Yeah. No, I'm just going to go with the Vikings here. Tough place to go and play, as I always say, and I think Dobbs gets it done with a little more time under his belt here. Some of those Vikings receivers really coming to the party there. Even Osborne on the slot, as well as the young man Addison, really showing his potential there. So that's good to see. And I think they just outpassed the Saints here and outdueled them in a tight game. It's the Vikings.
Nice. So let me just navigate around here a little bit. Okay, so Detroit Lions at the LA Chargers. -3. Ooh, Lions -3. The Chargers are home dog here. Oh my goodness, this is a horror show of a spread.
Oh, yeah, this is confusing. It's me to go, isn't it? Yeah, of course I have to pick the Chargers. So yeah, this is funny. The Lions have shown the propensity to go and get blown out by some. Well, they got blown out by the Ravens on the road. They lost. Their only other loss was a close one at home. This is quite a long trip for them, and the Chargers are rounding into some form here, I have to say. after a terrible start. The Chargers looked all right. I'd be inclined to take the Chargers here just because they're a home dog, and it's an odd trip for the Lions here. Also, it's NFC AFC, which always worries me a bit when I'm looking at a favorite. So just for that reason alone, I think the Chargers have enough to get it done. And then, yeah, I think it's a close win, but it's a Chargers cover. Interestingly, Detroit have the best ATS record this year, 6-2 against the spread. But yeah, I fancy a Chargers here.
I'm going to differ on this one. I'm happy to take the Lions and extend that ATS run that you pointed out. That's just tipped it over the top for me. David Montgomery is back from injury this week, so that gives them a running threat in the red zone. Which is a huge part of this offense, obviously running the football. And Jared Goff coming back to LA, feel like he might have some points to prove here. So I'm gonna take the Lions and feel pretty good about it. I think they're superior talent on both sides of the ball for the Lions. So I'm gonna keep that simple.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I could see the Lions blowing this one out for sure. So yeah, it could be a fun game, this one. And I don't know about that prediction there that Quentin Johnston's gonna have a breakout game. He hasn't looked too good so far, unfortunately.
No, well, and we discussed this on our NFL draft special this year that Quentin Johnston's going to need some time.
Yeah,
he's very much a collegiate receiver, not much of not a lot of transferable skills from what he did. He just needs to get the ball in his hands and let him run, and that's kind of what they have started doing a little bit with him. So, yeah, well, maybe we'll see it today and prove me wrong. Most likely you will, and I'll be in the under 50% basement with you, Tom. Falcons at Cardinals. Now, last week, I thought really showed you who the Falcons are. And I've been banging the drum all year that I don't think the Atlanta Falcons are a very good football team. And yeah, Heineke didn't look much better. Didn't look much better than Desmond Ridder last week. And I don't know. I'm just not feeling this Arthur Smith Falcons reign at all, to be honest. So I'm going to take Arizona as a home dog. The return of Kyler Murray, at the very least, gives them an even more dynamic threat running the ball at quarterback. They were already dynamic when Dobbs was there, but even more dynamic with Murray. And I think from obviously he's got his issues as an NFL player, but I think you would say he's got more upside and talent as a thrower than Dobbs does. So I think that, and I think that's reflected in the line here. This must be one of the tighter lines the Cardinals have had all season.
Yeah,
but they are still a home dog, and I'm going to take them to win by a field goal at home and cover for me there.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, they haven't been terrible against the spread this year, the Cards. They've lost some bad ones, but they have covered. And yeah, the line's tight now. So yeah, it's time to put our money where our mouth is. And I am going to agree with you on the Cards on that one. I just can't trust the Falcons here. Really struggling to get Bijan Robinson going. That's a really odd one. He seems to be not fully healthy or something going on there. And yeah, the Falcons had so many red zone opportunities last week. I had to settle for field goals. It really looks a little, just a little pedestrian, should we say, from the Falcons. Can't put money on that. So go on, give me the Cards.
Nice. Agree to agree on that one. Let's have a look here. Next game. Commanders at Seahawks.
Oof.
Commanders didn't look good last week. Seahawks did not look good last week. Yeah. Have at it, Tom. It's your turn.
I don't think the Seahawks have won a game by a touchdown this year. I just don't think they do. So I'm going to take the Commanders here to get a surprising road cover and maybe even a win. I think that defense won't mind going up there. Geno's didn't look very good at all last week. We'll see what they've got, but I think the Commanders are going to keep this one close and maybe pull out a win here in a surprising game. I just can't trust the Seahawks to cover 6 at this stage.
No, I agree with you on that. Actually, I think the Seahawks will win this game. So I wouldn't necessarily agree with you that I think the Commanders can come and get a win, but I don't think the Seahawks. I mean, the Eagles have not beaten the Commanders by more than 6 points this season,
No.
so I don't think the Seahawks will. Even though it's a long journey for the Commanders to make, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, no, I'm happy to take the Commanders here too. Gonna have to agree with you.
Nice.
Um, next one is the Giants at the Dallas Cowboys.
Whoa,
Whoa!
Nelly. No, this is officially the biggest spread we've seen all year.
It's
A
it's a
17.
mon it's a monster. It's a monster.
Oh, it's all on you here, Mike. Are you brave enough to take the football Giants here on the 17 and a
You
half?
on the 17 and a half point spread. I mean, I mean, how do you not? But then it's but they are just that bad. They are just that
Yeah,
bad. Um,
yeah,
I think the Giants are in free fall here.
yeah,
I think with Kyler Murray coming back from injury, I'm sure Cardinals fans won't be thrilled with this, but I think the Cardinals will play themselves out of the number one pick overall in
yeah.
next year's draft, and I think the Giants might be sliding it right into Caleb Williams here, which I think they'd probably be quite happy with. And I
Yeah.
think is DeVito playing at quarterback, or is Tyree is
Uh, no, it's DeVito again.
oh no, Cowboys.
Yeah, was never too impressed with him at Illinois, and even less in the NFL from what I've seen. Fortunately for the young man. Oh, oh.
Cowboys
I'll,
look good.
just for no other reason, they're giving you 17 and a half points in the NFL. I'll take that. I'll usually take that, even if it's a third stringer. They have to compete at some level, you know. So go on. I'll just take the Giants to differ. That's a absolutely calamitous one there, though, for me. That could really come back to haunt me.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys still having their red zone issues against the Eagles last week, but
Yeah,
pushed
yeah.
a good Eagles team all the way. And I
Need
just think,
to run Dak more for my liking. Get him
yeah,
run.
I I don't know why they don't. I'm assuming they just want to keep him healthy. And when you
Yeah,
look at Jalen Hurts is already hobbling around, and we're only 8 weeks into the season. So when you
yeah,
run your quarterback, you do always open yourself up to that kind of risk. I feel like McCarthy's too conservative to take the risk, but I agree with you. In the red zone, they have to use his legs, especially because they're not a good red zone team right
no.
now. The New York Football Jets, the New Jersey Jets,
Oh,
traveling out to Las Vegas.
now, Mike, these two teams have been on prime time far too often for me this year. This
Yeah.
is just it's been gross actually having to watch these two on the prime time games. Goodness.
Well, it's good. It's good for me. I don't have to stay up for it tonight.
No.
But even okay, so let's assume we've got a bit of time here. We've still got 10 minutes, so let entertain me here for a little bit. But let's assume Aaron Rodgers was still healthy. Why would this game be in prime time, even given that?
No, yeah. That is
The
odd.
Raiders are terrible. Well, they were. I didn't think. I mean, I didn't think the Raiders were a good football team at the start of the season. So I don't know
No,
why this was flexed into prime time. But anyway,
no.
the Las Vegas Raiders are a 1 point home dog here, which now, admittedly, they are going to be playing a rookie quarterback against a Jets defense that is excellent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to take the silver and black to cause an issue for them here. They're going to play
Yeah.
hard for Antonio Pierce. It'd be a very Raiders result. Al Michaels will be smiling down on them if they get a surprise win here against the Jets. So yeah, I'm going to take the Raiders.
Ooh, yeah, I wanna agree. Raiders smoking some stogies in the locker room after the win last week, and they're really riding that high.
Does
Uh,
that post McDaniel's high must be thrilling. It really
I'd
must.
love to experience that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they can, after the high of last week, how they can continue that. I always worry about that. You always expect the win after the changing coaching staff in all sports. It seems to happen. It is a good defense. I expect O'Connell to get some stuff he hasn't seen in his young career. So I will differ, and I'll take the Jets. I really don't feel comfortable about it. I want to ride the Raiders high, but I'm not convinced yet it can last. So I'll take the Jets.
I've actually got Stogie in the draw here at home, so I'll light that up if the Raiders win.
Oh, excellent! Yes,
We'll be smoking Stogies tonight. Okay, so last one here.
Oh,
Another baffling primetime game. Again, even at the start of the season, I would have said this is a bizarre one to put into primetime. We now know how bad the Broncos are, and even the Bills are flattering to deceive. So
it's
pick it.
yeah.
Pick this one. Pick the bones out of this one.
Well, I have to say this spread is surprising to me. The Broncos have shown you a little bit the last few games, notably the big win against the Chiefs. But then Russell Wilson played very well last week as well, actually, and his numbers are actually all right. The Bills concern me more, and I'm not sure why the spread is like this, because the Broncos defense will probably keep them in games, and the Bills, yeah, they just have a propensity to muff these games. They're really an odd team to watch this year. I think it's too many points. I'm just going to take the Denver Broncos here. Just too many points in the NFL.
Yeah, the Broncos are an interesting team. They've got a lot of those defensive personnel of what was a good unit a couple of years ago, but clearly, getting thumped repeatedly early part of this season by the Chargers and obviously the Dolphins for 70 on them. So I am concerned about the Broncos defense still, as is Sean Payton. So I think that's part of the reason why he's gone to a much more run-heavy approach, a la his early years in New Orleans. And I think that's a really good approach to take versus the Bills too, because the Bills are, as we were discussing earlier, soft up front. Again, always they've signed Linval Joseph off the street, try and get a big man in the middle there, clog up some of those running lanes. But I think I like the young stable of backs the Broncos have got, and I like the matchup against the Bills. So give me the Broncos here, and I think the Bills win at home. I don't think they'll lose two straight. I think Josh Allen will have enough joy against this, as I was saying, fairly poor Denver Broncos defense. But yeah, I think it'll be closer than these experts, these bookmakers think.
Yeah, sounds about right to me.
Lovely.
Some good agreements there. I think that we're consensus on a few of these spreads that tend to smell this week, but also some nice differs there for us. It'll be fun to watch these ones.
Yeah, well, looking forward to getting into the action.
Yeah.
All right, is there anything else we need to cover here, Tom, or are we signing off?
No, I think we're bingo bango. It's good night and good luck, and go well.
Go well. Take it easy.